Often success becomes the major bottleneck for the successful people. Have you thought about it? This happens not because they lose their capabilities. Rather, it's only because they lose the ability to listen to others, to learn from others. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. As usual, I will pick up something from our day to day lives and connect that concept with the wisdom which is embedded in our ancient texts. We have been doing a series on campus to Karmabhoomi for the young people who are graduating out of their colleges or the institutions and joining the work life. They face different kind of challenges over a period of time, and many of those challenges, the answers to those challenges are not taught to us in our schools and colleges. We are picking those up and linking them with the wisdom which is embedded in our ancient texts. Let me take all of us back to a beautiful moment in the epic Mahabharata. Arjuna is in the exile, like the other Pandavas and Draupadi are. Their friend, guide, philosopher Krishna had advised them. Some epics say that it was says Vyasa who advised them to utilize the time in the exile to acquire new skills. So Nakul and Sahadev, the youngest of Pandavas, were advised to go to the celestial doctors and learn new techniques of healing. And similarly, Bhim was sent to Hanuman to learn the act of concentration and different abilities which complement his strength and power. And similarly, Draupadi and Yudhishthir went to learn and acquire new skills of servicing other people, to inculcate the sense of service. And Arjun went to the Himalayas to do an intense penance to satisfy Lord Shiva and acquire a weapon called Pashupatastra. While Arjun was doing this penance, Lord Shiva and Parvati were watching this. So after they saw that Arjun is determined and focusing on the penance to really get that weapon Pashupatastra, so then Lord Shiva and Parvati came in disguise to take a test of Arjun. So one Rakshas in the form of a wild boar comes charging at Arjun, and Arjun's penance gets disturbed. Arjun shoots an arrow at the wild boar and the wild boar falls down. And interestingly, at the same time, there is a tribal hunter who has also shot an arrow and it has hit the wild boar as well. So Arjun gets up from his penance, from his tapasya, and goes towards the wild boar. The tribal hunter also comes there. And both of them gets into a discussion whose arrow was hit first and who made the wild boar fall first. Of course, it is Lord Shiva in disguise of a tribal hunter. And then the conversations were becoming hotter, and they decided they will fight amongst them to figure out who is a better warrior, better archer. Arjuna, of course, by the time was known to be one of the best, or if not the best. Arjuna has already defeated many other skilled warriors, archers of his time. Arjuna knows that he is the best. Yet, he doesn't mind picking up a fight with the tribal hunter who seems to be arrogant. Later, we will come to know that the tribal hunter is Lord Shiva himself. But Arjuna, determined to put the tribal hunter at his place, gets into a fight. And interestingly, multiple rounds of fight takes place, and Arjuna is finding himself losing all his arrows, his quiver is becoming empty. Arjun is wondering what's happening. How is it possible? Then he thinks that this tribal warrior, that this tribal archer is somebody very special. Then he approaches the archer, the tribal warrior, asks him who he was. And Arjun says that why don't you teach me some techniques of warfare that you seem to be so skilled at? And then Lord Shiva and Parvati come in front of Arjun and are happy about Arjun's skills in archery, his determination, and most importantly, his attitude of learning, his attitude of admitting that he doesn't know everything. He has still people around who could teach him an art or two. That's the point of this humility. That's the point of successful people having the humility. Many times the concept of humility is misunderstood. People think that humble people lack confidence. However, the fact is that very confident people can at the same time be humble. Humility and confidence are not opposite things. They can live together, and only when they live together the successful people become more and more successful. In my life I have encountered many successful people, and more often than not these successful people are very humble. If we look at Greek mythology and think of Socrates, Socrates said that I know one thing very clearly, that I know nothing. Someone like Socrates is saying that he doesn't know everything. The wisdom and the intelligence that he had of his time was matchless. Yet he says that he doesn't know anything, which means he is saying that there is so much in this universe that we must learn. So it's not about listening alone, like we spoke in the last episode. We can learn the importance of listening, but we stop listening, or we find it hard to listen only when we have come to a certain stage in our life. When we are young, we are willing to listen, we are willing to learn, we are accepting feedback from others. But the moment we know a few things, ego comes over in the form of confidence. We think that's confidence, but that's actually ego. We become rigid. We stop listening to others. We stop learning from others. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, think about this deeply and practice the habit of staying humble, at the same time staying confident.